So finally, we are at the Yuuzhan Vong War and the Vol'jians' involvement in this war. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video because we're going to go dive into their involvement in the Yuuzhan Vong War. So let's get into it. So the Imperial Revenant invades Melkar, their homeworld, and so the Imperials lay siege to the world. They do this brutal earth scouring campaign type where they bombard the planet to nothing but a lifeless husk. The Imperials basically destroy Melkar and reduce it to a lifeless world, like I said before, and the world was no longer the same as it used to be. It was destroyed, it was forgotten, and most of the Vol'jians decided to retreat to Zakul. The other half of the people retreat to Zakul, almost like populations cut in half, almost type of thing, except the other half goes to that place and the other half goes that place. And Zakul was no exception, so most of those people ran from there. The fortress world of Zutar, the military base, the most heavily fortified place, remember that? The Imperials besieged that planet for about the longest time. Both sides suffered casualties, but the Imperials managed to take over that planet. The Vol'jian military was in disarray. They were scattered across their broken empire, and including two of their allied species as well. The Imperials were on the brink of conquering the Vol'jians, and since their military was so splintered and divided, they couldn't fight an effective war against the Imperial Revenant. But thankfully, there was intergalactic invaders that would change everything. The Vong have finally entered the Star Wars galaxy, as we all know, and they decided to use their war of conquest to bring the galaxy to heel, as we all know from the lore. Swiftly conquering the galaxy and just nearly destroying the New Republic, the Imperial Revenant. We all know this from the lore before. And the Vol'jians were still getting pushed back by the Imperial Revenant. I feel like even the Chiss too, might have gotten involved in this little war too. And the Vol'jians didn't know exactly how to fight out these enemies. Thankfully, the Vong, or the Yuuzhan Vong, came to the broken Vol'jian Empire, and they managed to conquer it, which I'm actually going to explain right now and see what we can do. And so basically the Vong, like I said before, conquered the broken empire, and kicked out the Imperial Revenant out of the Vol'jian space. And so they managed to also conquer many of these worlds, including Zutar, the fortress world, and the Melkar, the once beautiful and lifelong living world. The Vong were so saddened that this beautiful world was destroyed, so they used their terraforming world technology in order to bring it back to life. Zaitar Zura, the guy from the last video, he became the new Supreme Overlord. And he decided to make an alliance with the Vong. And you might be asking yourself, why on earth would he do that? Why would they support the Vong or the Yuuzhan Vong? Well, it was mainly for two reasons. One, to help and save the Romarians and the Fujians and themselves from this conflict. And the other reason, they needed the Vong, and they were in no position, logistically as well as militarily, they were exhausted and they couldn't fight the Vong. So they decided to join the Vong simply out of anger their own and wanted revenge against both the Chiss and the Imperial Revenant. Even though the New Republic did nothing to them, they were more than willing to support their Yuuzhan Vong allies. So, of course, their burning hatred resided to both the Chiss very much and the Imperial Revenant. And so, of course, the Vong and Vol'jian allies decided to attack Chiss space. And while those forces were attacking Chiss space, The other Vol'jian forces also supported their Vong overlords in the taking of Coruscant, and so this war would last for about many years, as we all know, except this war would be different since you got a fan-made species, that powerful species joins an intergalactic one. But years following, later on, during this war, of course, we all know the Vong were getting beaten back, pushed back. So during this last few years, they finally surrendered to the galaxy. How did the galaxy reacted to the Vol'jians' involvement? Well, a lot of anger and hatred, and a lot of people blame the Vol'jians not just about the Vong situation, but also the death toll of millions. But the Vol'jians said they had to join them because they didn't want their people or their homeworld to be destroyed. So of course they explained their cases. The Vol'jians' homeworld basically was reborn as it was. It was finally back to full-on life just over the rest of the years of the war, which greatly benefit their homeworld entirely. And the Vol'jians would will resurface and reborn as it was before. And the Vol'jians managed to survive one of the most dangerous wars of its time. The only reason why they joined the Vong was simply not just out of fear, but simply because they wanted to save their people and their allies and their homeworld. So basically, they survived the most bloodiest of war the galaxy has ever seen, and supporting their Vong overlords. And they did allow some Vong to stay in Melkar, as most of the Vong retreated to the other galaxy. But the Vol'jians would still recover after this whole debacle. And so basically their war with the Chiss and the Imperials still continues on, sadly, to this day. Until we get to the next part, honestly, guys, we will just have to wait and see what we can do and learn. And this is going to be a very short video next time, so on Tuesday. And I kind of hope you guys do enjoy the video. I know this was more of an opinionated video, but hey, sometimes we need to do some opinionated videos. So I hope you guys do enjoy the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.